Hey, what is up everybody? It's Animac here for Anime Uproar, and what if I told you that we already know the true identity of the mysterious Im, also known as Imu Sama, the one who sits on the empty throne and controls the entire world government from the shadows? What if I told you that Roger's greatest rival and one of the most notorious pirates in the history of the world wasn't actually defeated at God Valley, as we've all been led to believe? What if he secretly accomplished his goal of becoming the king of the world? And for the past 38 years, everything has been going according to his master plan. The rise of Blackbeard, the failure of the world government to capture the Nika fruit, the real reason why Shanks met with the Gorosei. What if it's all connected? And what if it all goes back to one man, Rox D. Xebec? You guys know how this works. If you enjoy our One Piece content and you want to see more in the future, leave a quick like and comment right now. It really helps us with that YouTube algorithm. And of course, if you want to support the channel directly for free, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. Finally, this video will contain One Piece manga spoilers, so please proceed with caution. You have been warned. Now, if you guys have been watching this channel for a while, then you know that I love to imagine Imu Sama as a hot yandere waifu. And I mean, that is still my preferred theory, but after reading some of your comments on my previous One Piece videos, I was inspired by a bunch of them to create a theory which states that Imu Sama's true identity is none other than the infamous Rox D. Xebec. Although Xebec allegedly died 38 years ago, he continues to be relevant in the present time. And in fact, the recently released Road to Laugh Tale booklets emphasized the importance of Rox. Road to Laugh Tale implies that Rox's will and design could still be threatening the world even in the present time. And the booklets also hint at a deeper connection between Blackbeard and Xebec. After seeing this and after seeing your comments, I had to make this video and I had to at least consider the possibility that everything we think we know about Xebec is a lie. Rox D. Xebec was a notorious and legendary pirate who is considered to be Roger's single greatest rival, and who was a major scourge on the world of One Piece some 4 decades before the present time. Rox is of course a member of the D Clan, and his ultimate goal was apparently to become the undisputed king of the world. Unlike the heroic pirates that we know and love, pirates like Roger and Luffy who dream of becoming the pirate king and the freest men on the seas, Rox seems to have been more interested in power, wealth, and control. As such, his tactics were often far more cruel and diabolical than anything that we would expect from pirates like Roger or Luffy. It is believed that Xebec formed his pirate crew, the Rox Pirates, 44 years ago on the island of Hachinosu. This means that the Rox Pirates had at least 6 years to terrorize the world of One Piece before they were eventually disbanded after the God Valley incident, which took place 38 years ago. The Rox Pirates included some of the most powerful and legendary pirates of the past century, including a young Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido, along with Shiki, Captain John, Silver Axe, and Ochoku, aka Wang Ji. The last 2 were confirmed to have been members in Volume 3 of The Road to Laugh Tale. After forming his OP crew, Xebec seemed particularly interested in discovering the secret history of the world. He was always hunting for forbidden knowledge about the Void Century, and he openly declared war on the world government because he wanted to become the king of the world. We don't know much about what Xebec and the Rox Pirates did leading up to the God Valley incident, but we do know that Xebec was apparently quite ruthless and willing to do whatever it takes to get his way. This means that he didn't shy away from even the most brutal acts such as murder, and in fact he was apparently willing to kill even the Celestial Dragons, which is the single gravest crime in the world of One Piece. We can't forget that in the One Piece world, hurting even a single Celestial Dragon could be used as justification to instantly destroy an entire kingdom. And yet, Xebec was apparently willing to threaten the lives of multiple Celestial Dragons without a second thought. Okay, so now that we've covered everything we know about Rox D. Xebec prior to the God Valley incident, let's briefly talk about Im, aka Imu Sama, another character that we know almost nothing about. Imu Sama is a mysterious being that was first introduced in chapter 906 of the manga, so more than 20 years after the manga started publishing. And yet, Imu Sama immediately shocked all fans of One Piece as it was revealed that this being is the true ruler of the world government. The one who sits on the empty throne, and the one to whom even the Gorosei must bow down to. Nobody besides the very upper echelon of the world government is even aware of Imu Sama's existence. And yet, this being is the one who really decides what the world government does and doesn't do, and who or what will be erased from history. In short, Imu Sama is the de facto king of the world, the very title that Xebec had set out to attain 4 decades ago. Little is known about Imu Sama's personality, other than the fact that this person enjoys casual strolls through the garden and playing with butterflies. We also know that this being has taken a special interest in 4 individuals: Luffy, Blackbeard, Vivi, and Shirahoshi. Imu Sama is also in possession of a giant straw hat that has been locked away inside a massive freezing vault in Marijois. And Imu Sama is also implied to have used a saber, which is a specific type of sword, in order to pierce through a photo of Shirahoshi. This is interesting because a number of very important characters have been shown to use sabers in the story, including Shanks, Roger, and of course, Xebec. In fact, as we know, Blackbeard named his ship the Saber of Xebec. Imu Sama's use of a saber could just be a coincidence. This could be yet another important character who just happens to use a saber. But we can't rule out the possibility that this is a subtle hint about Imu Sama's true identity and the secret connection between Blackbeard and Xebec. And this brings us to that notorious God Valley incident, which is the linchpin of this entire theory. Everything depends on what actually happened at God Valley and what really happened to Rocks D. Xebec after the epic battle that saw the Rocks pirates taking on Roger and his crew, plus Garp and the Marines at the same time. We know that 38 years ago, Xebec and his overpowered crew attacked the mysterious island known as God Valley, and according to Sengoku, multiple celestial dragons were present on God Valley at the time of the attack. We don't know exactly how many celestial dragons were there, we don't know who they were, and we don't know why they were on the island. But judging by the nature of the incident itself and by the great lengths that the world government went through to hide everything that happened there, we can assume that the celestial dragons present were extremely important to the world government. For all we know, these celestial dragons who were at God Valley may have even been the Gorosei themselves. Protecting these particular celestial dragons and their slaves from Xebec was apparently so crucial for the world government that they were willing to do something unprecedented. They actually teamed up with Goldie Roger, a notorious pirate who was under normal circumstances a sworn enemy of the world government. And so, Garp and Roger led the fight against the Rocks pirates. And according to the official story, as it was told to us by Sengoku, Roger and Garp won the battle. Xebec was apparently killed, the Rocks pirates were disbanded, and it was during this battle that Garp earned his legendary title, the Hero of the Marines. Now, unfortunately, the details of the big battle are extremely scarce. All we know is that at some point, Big Mom seems to have saved Kaido's life by giving him the mythical Zone Devil Fruit that he became known for later. The truth about the entire incident was strictly censored by the world government, and the island of God Valley itself is said to have vanished from the face of the earth. We don't know how exactly it vanished, but now it is gone and it cannot even be found on a map. We can assume that the vanishing was not the result of a traditional Buster Call, because Sengoku doesn't say that it was blown apart or destroyed by weapons. He says that the island disappeared entirely, and he also implies that Xebec is no longer among the living. Now, most of us have always assumed that Sengoku's account was correct, and that Xebec died at God Valley, but how do we know for sure that it is true? I mean, Sengoku's description of the incident is deliberately vague, and he implies that if he says too much, he could be putting everyone who hears the information in grave danger. So he may be withholding crucial information deliberately, or perhaps the world government withheld crucial information even from him. After all, the insane lengths they went through to erase the God Valley incident from history means that they wouldn't think twice about deceiving even their own top officers. Is it possible that everything that we thought we knew about God Valley is wrong? What if Xebec didn't actually lose the big battle at God Valley? What if he actually succeeded in his mission to become the undisputed king of the world? Maybe Xebec attacked God Valley because he knew that there was something special there. Maybe even something related to the national treasure of Marie-Joie, an item first mentioned by Doflamingo in chapter 761. Although he doesn't explain the nature of the treasure, Dofi does state that this national treasure could be used to rule over the entire world. Perhaps Xebec obtained this very treasure at God Valley, and with it he was able to force the Gorosei to acknowledge him as the secret ruler of the world. He then faked his death and censored as much information about God Valley as possible in order to hide the fact that the entire world was now under his control. After all, you don't have to fear your enemies if your enemies think that you're already dead. And you don't have to worry about someone overthrowing you if no one even knows that you are the one in charge. This would honestly be the ultimate Machiavellian move. A move worthy of someone that Blackbeard himself clearly looks up to. According to this Xebec is Imu theory, the real reason why the Rock's pirates were disbanded after God Valley wasn't because Xebec died. It was because Xebec didn't need them anymore because he already achieved his ultimate goal. The Rock's pirates were never about loyalty anyway. They were just a collection of powerful individuals using each other to further their own goals. And so, once Xebec achieved his goal, he simply disbanded his crew, possibly making them all think that he died at God Valley. So, what if the pirate that Shanks wanted to talk to the Gorosei about was neither Luffy nor Blackbeard, but Xebec himself? Perhaps Shanks knows Imu Sama's true identity, and he might know it because Roger revealed it to him before his death. If this Xebec Imu theory is true, then were Roger and Garp also tricked into thinking that Xebec died at God Valley, or did they know that there was more to the story? For that matter, is Xebec as evil as we've been led to believe, or are things maybe a bit more complicated than that? For example, could Xebec actually be working to destroy the world government from within in order to further his own plans? And so that is why the Gorosei were so ineffective in capturing Luffy and the Nika Devil Fruit. It is because Imu, aka Xebec, intentionally kept them focused on other things. And I mean, when we consider just how obnoxious and unpopular the Celestial Dragons are in general, it is almost as if the entire system wants to create enemies for itself by directly pushing people to rebel against it. Maybe this was all by design. Unbeknownst to the world government, their ruler, Imu Sama, is actually undermining them from within. What if Imu Sama, aka Xebec, preserved that giant straw hat in Marie-Joie because he's actually awaiting Joy Boy's return? If that were the case, if Xebec's ultimate goal was more complicated than just an evil guy wanting power, then maybe Garp and Roger were in on it all along. Maybe these three powerful members of the D-Clan made a pact to destroy the world government by infiltrating it and taking it down from within. If so, then Xebec, Garp, and Roger were essentially the previous generation's Luffy, Ace, and Sabo. We just don't realize it yet. And maybe Roger revealed this pact to Shanks before he died, which is why Shanks appears to know more than everyone else. This idea that Roger, Garp, and Xebec formed a secret pact to create a new world from the shadows is an intriguing one. But it's just as possible that Imu, aka Xebec, really is a ruthless Machiavellian overlord who will turn out to be the final villain of the story. And his connection to Blackbeard may resemble something like the connection between Madara and Obito, for those of you who are familiar with Naruto. And of course, all of these scenarios that I mentioned only make sense if we actually accept that Imu Sama really is Xebec, which would be insane if true, but at this point it is just speculation, although if it turns out to be true, then I totally want the credit. And because this is just speculation for fun, I want to know, what do you guys think? What is Imu Sama's true identity? And could he actually be Rox D. Xebec himself? What is the national treasure of Marijois? And how is it possible that this one item can apparently be used to rule the world? Finally, will Imu Sama turn out to be the final villain in One Piece? Don't forget to share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this crazy theory video and you want to see more in the future, leave a quick like and comment. It only takes you a second, but it helps me out with that YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed already, do me a big favor and click that subscribe button and also that notification bell to turn on all notifications. It is a completely free but very real way of directly supporting the channel. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Anime Uproar. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!